Hello everyone. I got a video where a brother was burning his certificate, claiming that ever since he has acquired the certificate, it has not fetched him a dime. And it's so touching, and we all understand his plight, and even is we understand the situation of the country. And so many people sent the video to me, which I uploaded, but I didn't say anything about it, and a whole lot of people would want to hear my view on it and all of that. You see, we all need to understand the reality of our time. The era of immediate employment after school, it's over and it's obvious. Meanwhile, there are a whole lot of things that we assume. You see, certificates is just a proof that we have been to school and we graduated. Certificate is not equivalent to either wealth or money or anything. Certificate is just like a receipt. When you buy something and you paid and you were given a receipt, you went to school because you desire, you want to acquire knowledge, you desire to know, and so you went to where you can be trained, and you have to pay for it. You paid for it, you spend your time for it, you do a whole lot of things for you to acquire the certificate. You have finished in the school, and the certificate is given to you as a proof that you have been to school, that this so and so person came to this school within this period, abide by the rules and regulation, and he was given the certificate. It is not the certificate that will fetch you money, or it is not an automatic license to job. We understand the fact that a lot of people got job immediately they finish school. It is not the certificate. The knowledge that you have acquired, the knowledge that you have gotten from the school is what you are going to use to solve people's problem. The problem you solve, the amount of wealth you are going to acquire, is dependent on the amount of problem that you can solve. For example, you were trained as a medical doctor, you have a certificate. You don't have to go to the hospitals with that certificate every day to treat a patient. The certificate is just a proof, just like when they issue you a receipt for paying for something that you bought. The knowledge that was given to you as a medical doctor is what you will use to treat a patient. And after you have treated the patient pays you. That's how it works. Now, the knowledge you have acquired is meant for you to either work, either for yourself or for someone. And look at all the private parastatals employing people. And if you look at the video very well, you discover that the brother said most of the job he has gotten, they didn't even ask that he should bring his certificate. They didn't ask of his certificate. Of course, they didn't need your certificate. What they need is your brain, the knowledge that you have acquired. You understand? The things that you have known, apply that knowledge, apply that thing in solving a problem, then you will be paid. But in a situation whereby we sit down and we are expecting that, oh, now I have certificate, my certificate will fetch me money. Gone are those days. Because most of the time of our parents, the era of immediate employment after schools, it was analog era. A whole lot of things that machines now do now, it is human beings that will do those things during that time. A whole lot of things that they need manpower, they need to employ people to do, machines now do it this time. That time there was no ATM machine, there was no POS, there was no telephone. A whole lot of things that people are doing that they need to employ people to do, then machines are now doing it. So we all have to embrace the reality of our time. We understand the fact that when we went to school, we were told that when you graduate, you get a job, you have become successful. In fact, there is this very common song that Batari Adun Koko Ka, that if you go to school, you'll be wearing high heels. But unfortunately, a whole lot of people that go to school now, they cannot even buy a flat slippers. Why? Because certificates will not fetch you money. It was an erroneous belief then. It was erroneous because if we critically look at it, then we will discover that when people finish school then, they got employed. It is the brain and the energy they will leverage on, the knowledge that they have acquired in the school, that the company or the government that will employ them will leverage on for them to work, and after they work, they get paid. Unfortunately, most of the things that people do then, machines is now doing it this time. We all all have to know the certificates we have, the certificates we were given. A whole lot of us, we have first degree, we have MSc, some are even having PhD. All those certificates are our own. Your certificate is your own, is for you. It is not a license for you to be employed by anybody or by the government. It was given to you as a proof, just like when you buy television, when you buy deep freezer, you buy refrigerator, you buy things, you paid for it, and you were given a receipt. It is a proof. That's why people that got rusticated from the school, they will not give them certificate. It's as good as they didn't come to school at all. Your certificate is your proof that you have come to school, you paid for the knowledge you acquire, the knowledge was given to you, and you were given a certificate, you were certified. That's why the moment they gave us our certificate, they collect our ID card. We are no more the property of the university because we have graduated, we have been given certificate. The certificate is a proof that I went to school, I graduated. It is not an automatic visa to a job. Even when you have certificate and you don't have the knowledge to solve a problem, you don't have the capacity to work, there is no company that will recruit you or that will employ you. The same thing in the government parastatal. If you do not have the capacity to work, you didn't have the knowledge, you didn't have the basics. There are some jobs that when you apply for it, they still train you. So don't let us sit down and start thinking, oh, my certificate, it is not our fault. That was how we were trained. There are some points in our life we need to start facing the reality of our time. That was what worked for our parents. It actually worked for them because they lived in analog time. You don't live a life of analog in digital age. This is digital age. A whole lot of things that we went to school to study, machines are now doing those things. So the knowledge you have gotten from school, you went to school because you want to acquire it, just like the way we desire to have things. We want to have gold, we want to have cars, we want to have clothes, we want expensive things, we want things that will make life convenient for us, and we gather money, we acquire those things and paid for it. So you paid for the education you got, you paid for the knowledge you got in the school, and you were given a certificate like a receipt, the proof that you have been trained. Now, the knowledge you got is what you will apply. When you apply that knowledge to solve a problem, that is when you will be paid. The certificate itself is not an ATM that will be dispensing money for you. No, the knowledge you acquire that made you to be given that certificate is what you need. We understand the fact that the government is not providing an environment or a platform for youth, for Nigerians to be able to practice what they have learned. But you can get one for yourself. I want to believe that that brother burning a certificate, it does not reduce him. It does not take any value away from him. He said in his video that he read history, he's a graduate of history. The knowledge he acquired to have become a graduate of history is still intact, is still in him. The certificate he burns it doesn't mean he doesn't go to school. At times, even your certificate, if you need to apply to some, schools, you will need to, bring your transcript. Some will request for official transcript. It will not come from you. We all have our student copy. They will still request for official copy, whereby they will send it directly to the school you're applying to. So your academic record, your transcript is still in your school. Burning your certificate does not reduce your value. What you learned in the school is still in you. That is what you need. That knowledge is what you will utilize to solve problems that will now bring money to you. It's not the certificate. Gone are those days when we were told that when you have your certificate, you automatically you are otishoríire, you have success, you have become successful. We understand the fact that education is good, is a beautiful thing. Even when you sell food as a graduate, the way you sell your food is different from how illiterate will do his own. But if you are going to school without having a preparation of what you are going to do to bring food on your table, you will only go and beg illiterate for job, or you beg them for money. May we not be like that. So please let us know and train our children that skill acquisition is very important. We go to school because we want to be versed in knowledge. We want to have a different approach of solving problems in the society. Most of the things we stay here on our page are products of deep research, learning, and studies, series of studies. When we take these studies, what do we do with it? We use it to create awareness and solve people's problem. Even if they want to monetize anything for you, they can't monetize what is inside your brain if you didn't make use of it and bring it out. A whole lot of us that graduated from schools, many things that we learned in the school, machines are now doing those things. There are a lot of courses that people did, that people studied in the school, that Oyibo people have now created technology that will solve people's problem, that will not make anyone to need that particular thing you studied. Now, the point is that university is meant to open our eyes to understand more, a whole lot of things that we cannot learn elsewhere. All of these are given to us to have good innovations, to be able to solve problems. The amount of problem you solve will now depend on the pay that will be given to you, or the pay that will be given to you is dependent on the amount of problem you are able to solve. You can see in his video that he said he's dragging job with the illiterate, because most of the job they will give you, you really don't need much university knowledge to solve those problems. You don't need much university knowledge to be able to do those work. That's why they don't ask you of your certificate. They won't say go and bring your certificate. The only place where you can be asked of your certificate is if you are into academics line. You understand? Even when you're there, you will not be carrying. Have you seen any professor carrying his certificate to the class to come and lecture? What he will teach is inside his brain. When we were still doing teaching work, we don't go to classroom with our certificates. We go there with our brain, because what I want to teach is inside of me. So that is what school is all about. It's meant for us to get education and to be able to devise a means of solving problem in a different way from the illiterates. As a graduate of history that he said he read history. You understand? You can leverage on that knowledge, create content, beautiful content that will teach a whole lot of people things that they didn't know. A lot of things that we see today that are strange to us, many of them have happened in the prehistoric time. You understand the fact that he might not be prepared for this. What we were trained for was that when you go to school, you graduate, you get a job, and you're fine. But personally, me as a person, I have to discard that knowledge immediately after my youth service or during my MSc. That was when I discard that knowledge of you get job and you become successful. Because I started reading a whole lot of books that explains a whole lot of things to me, that makes me to understand the fact that even if you get a job today, how much will you be paid? That is the reason why people who have learned to build their empire, I do tell people, if you don't build your empire, someone else will hire you to build their own for them. They will leverage on your knowledge, they will leverage on your time, your energy, your resources, and they will pay you peanuts just to keep your body and soul together and come back to work tomorrow again. You can leverage on that knowledge you have acquired. You understand? Being a graduate, you see, is not, especially here in Nigeria, it is not that course that you study that you will learn alone in the school. There are other borrowed courses that will teach us a whole lot of things that we don't know, that we can leverage on and get paid from it. There's nothing bad in going to school. You can go back to school, get your masters, get your PhD. You can even have as many as 3, 4, 5 masters, 2, 3, 4 PhDs. You are acquiring knowledge. That is not a guarantee or an automatic visa that somebody should come and employ you. You are getting that knowledge because you desire it, you need it, you want it. When you acquire it, you use it to solve problem in the society. When you solve problem, then you will get paid. So when you pile up certificates, you're not doing anything. What can you do? There is a life that by which we had value. Which value are you adding? What problem are you solving? Look at the artisan. A lot of them, they do plumbing work, some do bricklaying work, some make hair. You understand? Let's assume I want to make my hair. I go to a salon, or I invited a stylist to come. He makes my hair and I paid. That person has solved my problem. Therefore, I need to pay. I'm paying the person not because he has certificates for making hair. I'm paying him not because a salon is so beautiful and there are a lot of comfortability. No. I'm not paying him because he has a whole lot of apprentices. I'm paying him because he has solved my problem to make my hair for me. It is that service that I am ready to pay for, that I'm going to pay for. It's not because he has learnt in the most biggest saloon in the state, and so he has been given the certificate of learning. The certificate is he was given belong to him. If you finish school and school did not give you certificate, you can sue that school, because that certificate is your own. It is your right. It belongs to you. The knowledge they have given to you is what you need to solve problem and to bring pay to you. So if you're going to school without a plan B of what is going to bring food on your table, what you are going to do for you to be able to do what, to earn a living, it will just get to a stage whereby you will just feel tired. So that our brother, we understand what is happening in the country, but we are saying that this is a digital world. You can leverage on the knowledge that you have acquired. It is not my own view. You understand? A whole lot of people can pick offense and say, oh, you want to advise me or whatever. I'm not advising anyone. I'm only saying for those who are sending me the video, we understand what is happening in his mind. But you can leverage. That's why I do tell people, whatever skill that you have, bring out your skills. Present your skills. We are in an era whereby people buy things online. Ordinary footwear, you see people ordering online. Dispatch rider will bring it to your doorstep. This is the era that we have. You can leverage, even if you get a job. If a graduate gets a job in Nigeria now, a state government job, as a graduate, they can't pay you 200,000. If you are a real good content creator, you can make millions within a month. Go and ask those ones that their page are monetized. My page is not monetized. Go and ask the people that monetize their page. They make millions, thousands of dollars. That is the era that we have. In the olden days, when they would tell us that a whole car, they can buy it 2,500, 3,000 naira. Car, 504 car, Mercedes is not up to 10,000 naira. How many people can afford it at that time? Despite the fact that those things were cheap then, how many people could buy it? How many people can afford it? Before you can acquire 50 naira in those days, what type of work are you going to do? Some people were paid 200 naira as salary. Some were paid 300 naira as salary then. So as cheap as those things were, as not expensive as they were, how many people can afford it? But now that you spend millions, billions to buy things, people are buying. People are a whole lot of things that some people cannot afford in the olden days. People are buying it now. We just need to come to the reality of our time, to face the reality of our time by making use of what we have, leveraging on those things, and think about what to do to solve people's problem. When you solve problem, people will pay. Even if you don't want to charge, some people will say, oh, I want to appreciate you. They will give you, they will pay. And even if you still want to work for someone in a company, you want to work with government, you must know that it is not the certificate that will give you salary. It is your knowledge that you are using to work for the company. The company has gotten a whole lot of money from the work you're doing for them, and so they will pay you. If you are just sitting down, you're not doing anything, no company will pay you. You have to work. Your energy, your resources, your knowledge is what the company will leverage on, get paid, and give you some little change from the large percentage that they have generated from what you did for them. The same thing, a whole lot of people that even work with government, after 35 years, you see them borrowing money to buy their drugs. A lot of people, they didn't pay their pension, they didn't pay their gratuity, government didn't pay their dues after working for 35 years. Please let us make use of our time. This is social media era. This is a digital age. Whatever thing that you know how to do, bring it online. A whole lot of knowledge that we have acquired in schools, interpret it in a way that people will understand and solve their daily needs and daily problems. You will get paid. I am telling you. And the time will come that you will not even, the certificate will not even matter to you whether you have it. Even when you still want to go back to school and acquire more certificates, you're going there because you desire it. If tomorrow a good job comes your way, then you pick it up. There are some people that even when you want to give them job, they cannot even sit down and spend the whole of their time working for someone, because they have their own personal empire that they are building. So please let us think of what to do. Don't let us present it as if as if we are discouraged. No. People that are in school should continue learning. They should continue acquiring the knowledge and put it into practice. There is no job waiting for anybody after school. But there are a whole lot of things that you can do and solve problem in the society, and you will be comfortable and get paid. So please let us know this and know peace. I understand the fact that we Nigerian youth, we are not prepared for a whole lot of things that we face right now, but God is making a way for us. I pray that God Almighty will ease our affairs. God Almighty will, show us what to do, teach us the right step to take. God Almighty will also give us grace. You understand? To be able to face the reality, to be able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So our brother that burns his certificate, he only burned the certificate, he doesn't burn the knowledge that was given to him. His transcript is in his school intact. If tomorrow comes, they say go and come and get a job, he can go and process his transcript. There are some companies that when you work for them, you tender your certificate, they still go to your school at your back to go and verify did this person actually graduated. A whole lot of people have issues, probably maybe something happened where they put their certificates and it got burnt, and they got sworn affidavit, or they back it up with their transcript in the school. So my dear brother, we love you, and Nigeria is a country, is a nation that we believe that God Almighty will come to our rescue, and God will give us grace to be able to become better even as we live here. So there is no problem with you. God will ease our affairs. God will bless our hustle, let me put it that way, and God Almighty will show us ways to be able to solve problems. Thereby we don't even need anybody to come and employ us. By the time even employment will come, it will come as secondary, because what you do for yourself is your real self that you own, is your own. What somebody give to you, tomorrow you can take it back, say I'm not giving you job again, go back to your house. Let us build ourselves, let us build our own empire in our own little way, and God Almighty will help us. Great Nigeria, great our nation, great Nigerian youth. God bless you. Bye bye, love you.